Maya had always loved working with cars ever since she was a little girl, spending hours in her father's garage learning how engines worked and how to bring old, beaten-up vehicles back to life. And now at 23, she had her own small garage in the heart of her town, where she took pride in helping anyone in need without worrying about money. And one crisp autumn morning, a man in a worn-out military jacket pulled up in a rusty pickup truck that coughed and wheezed like it was on its last legs. Explaining he was a retired veteran named Mr. Thompson whose truck had been his lifeline since returning home, but now refused to start. And without hesitation, Maya smiled warmly and said she would take a look, and for the next several hours, she worked tirelessly, her hands covered in grease as she diagnosed a faulty starter motor and a nearly dead battery, carefully replacing parts and adjusting connections, all while chatting with Mr. Thompson, who told stories of his time overseas and how he always felt safer knowing he had his truck to get him anywhere. And when she finally turned the key and heard the engine roar back to life, his eyes filled with tears, and he hugged her tightly, thanking her again and again, leaving Maya smiling but feeling a warmth in her chest that money could never buy. Yet she didn't expect anything in return and went back to work on the next vehicle, thinking of nothing but the satisfaction of helping someone in need. But then, days later, a small envelope arrived at her garage with no return address. And inside was a handwritten letter that made Maya's heart stop as she unfolded it to read the words of Mr. Thompson expressing gratitude that went far beyond the simple repair, telling her how her kindness reminded him that people still cared deeply for one another and that her selflessness had renewed his faith in humanity. And along with the letter was a check for more money than Maya had ever seen and a note asking, would she allow him to repay her in some way? But Maya paused and looked at the letter, thinking about the thousands of other people she helped for free, and wondered, should she accept this gift knowing it came from someone whose heart she had touched so deeply? Or simply continue doing what she always did, because helping others was its own reward.